Okay, here we are, the very first episode of Haaizit, and I'm so excited. Like I've been wanting to do this for so long, and we finally here. Like it's been 2 years in the making, and I'm just so excited. Like all I really want for this podcast is like real authenticity vibes. Like I want to interview people who are up and coming. I want to give chances to people who have something to say, like their talents to prove. Like I feel like our industry right now is so full of amazing people, but like we don't always give the opportunity to up and comers to shine. And with that, like I want to interview those amazing people who have made it. I want to hear about their stories. I want to talk more to content creation from time to time and like just amazing people. And I think I'm already on the right track though, because today I've got my first guest ever, a close friend, a TikTok legend, a baddie all around. We've got HalleBBerry slash the real Galaletsang in the building. And here she is. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. I am so honored to be your first, person on your podcast. I'm so proud of you. I've seen you balance corporate babe, balance content creation. Now you have something else on your belt. I mean,
The
that is
balance
phenomenal.
is balancing at this point.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, and thank you so much.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank
like
you,
it really
love.
means a lot to me.
I'm excited.
And I'm really excited to get into the conversation about
Yes.
who you are, about what you've achieved,
You know,
because
we can talk.
we can talk and also you've just achieved so much. So I think we are going on a good path today to learning a little bit more
Yes.
about you and just all the amazing things you've done and the things that you're going to do as well. So with that being said, we already know like I think everybody knows the basic. You are a TikTok legend
Yes.
of comedy, of like daily vlogs, of like lifestyle. And you feature many different characters on your page as well. Like we've got Mama Halle, we've got Little Halle, and you've been doing TikTok for some time now. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So I like that. I like the journey of being a creator. I started in 2020 lockdown, where I had no direction with my life. To be honest, I just came back from America, and we were in lockdown. I was like, what am I going to now do? And there was a famous quote from Miles Monroe where he said that in critical situations, you are forced to really come up with ideas. And because I was trapped in my parents' house, back into my parents' house, God bless them for giving me some
I mean,
place.
shout out.
I then had to reroute and just think of what to do. And there was a girl that introduced me to the platform. And I then started my TikTok journey. And through trial and error, trying to discover myself, because I didn't know what I was good at the time. And I did dance, then I did comedy, and then I saw I went viral. Then I was like, okay, this is something that I should channel. And by doing that through comedy, which is what I love, is that you're able to then diversify yourself, include your lifestyle vlogs, include dance, include all the other fun things in between, and still make it comedy. So it's been such an exciting journey. A few years down the line, we are here through the journey.
We're almost
I met you.
at 3 million as well.
Hey.
3 million
Hey,
amazing
but it's
dream
dragging.
berries.
I'm like, can we go?
Can we go? TikTok, can we go?
Yes, and I love that you mentioned Dreamberries, because that's the name that my supporters, my family on TikTok, they came up with the name.
Yeah.
One day I went on a live. I was like, "What do y'all want to call yourselves?" You know, I know we got Beyonce. She says Beehive. What do y'all want to call
Beehive.
yourselves? They're like Dreamberries. So that's I absolutely love them. They've been the biggest part of my journey. Yeah.
No,
Incredible.
I mean, that's incredible. Like, I think, it really is about having a family online these days. And I think like you've got such an incredible range of just like that's it. Like family supporters, like, and I'll never call them followers, because they're there because, you support them, they support you. Like it's generally a very big family.
And that's why I always say I have a big family. They say your family doesn't have to be blood.
Yeah.
Family can be those people that you make and you create. And I've had such a great support from my supporters in these past few years, that even when I make some kind of content that doesn't really align with me, they can call me out on it. They're not scared,
Hey,
you know.
and people do.
They call me out. They're like, "Mama Halle, like, what are you doing?"
This is not
I'm
the
like,
one.
Okay, let's delete. So
Yeah.
as much as I grow with them, they also grow with me. And it's like I always compare it to Barney the dinosaur. It's like you have those people that grow with you, and it's just beautiful.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like really proud of you for that as well. I
Because you're
think
part of my dreamberry.
yeah, I mean, of course, I am the dreamberry. Yeah. Anybody who wants to fight me, you can come in the comment section. So yeah, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I know you mentioned, and you often do mention online, like before the life of like, you know, the Dreamberries and HalleBBerry and all of that, you were you. And you mentioned quite often that you were in the US, and what was that all about? Like, I mean, I love hearing the backstory of like, you know, how it came to be.
So I like that you mentioned that question, because there is more to just Mama Halle. There's just more to what we're seeing. I was just a regular girl who did her high school at Foy's High, and after graduating, I was like, what should we do now with my life? And then I took a gap year over to the States as an au pair on a cultural exchange program, and I wanted to study there. I had people who were going to finance me. Things did not go as planned, because dealing with people, they will show you flames, Kevin. But that's a thing for another day. And I tried to then hustle it out. I was a waitress after that, and then I became a bartender. And through that, I was just like, it was so stressful because I was juggling two jobs.
Yes.
You know, it was just too stressful. And I was like, I did not come here for this. So 5 years later, I then came back to South Africa. But I mean, it wasn't all just doom and gloom in America. It was absolutely amazing. I got to travel to 18 states. I got to make some of the most amazing friendships, long-term friendships that I'm still in contact with these people till today.
Yeah.
So I got to really enjoy life, enjoy my youth.
Yeah.
That's why now I don't look back. You don't see me craving to go party and go clubbing, because I lived it in America. I mean, in a whole
there's
other
no better
continent.
place, honestly.
I lived it up, and even now when I look back, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can't ever do that again, because I got it out of my system, and I think that's what I wanted. And my mom allowed me to go through that. You know, she would call me, and I'm like, "Hi, Mom, I'm so drunk, this and this," and she's just like, "I'm like, what were you doing at those times when I would call you?" She's like, "I'd be praying." I'm like, "God, just keep my daughter safe, please." That's all she could do. She never ever reprimanded me about it, because she knew who I am, and she knew that I just needed to explore as much as I did. And now I don't look back. I'm fulfilled.
No, and that's incredible. Like, she gave you the room to do what you wanted to do, but also what you needed to do to get to the person you are today. You know?
Oh yeah, and she was not helicoptering me. She was like, she let me find my wings. She let me find my independence, and that's what I truly yearned for. So now I can say I have done it with her support. You know, and I'm so grateful that she did give me the leg and the room to just flourish and be myself. Yeah.
No, 100%. Like, I think one of my biggest regrets on my side is that I tried to make this happen too quickly. And I don't think I've ever said that before to many people, but like it is. Like I remember, I mean, at 16, I went to go, you know, intern at Media 24. Like back when 16. And like, that's all I wanted. I wanted to be like an entertainment journalist.
At 16, people want to party, and Kevin is like, future goals,
and I'm
life.
like, Mom, can we drive into Sandton? Can you drop me off? Like, you know, like I'd almost rather do that than schoolwork. You know what I mean? And then when it came time to, you know, first year of college vibes, where everybody's also just like finding themselves, like there's no more like restrictions of like school and like this routine and whatever. It's like, okay, well, now I have time to work. Like, let's work. And, you know, I'm not going to say it didn't work out well for me, because I mean, I'm obviously here today, but I definitely have the missing feeling of like having the, you know, my youth,
that
or like
carefree
the carefree,
moment,
like let's party, like let's not worry about tomorrow kind of thing, you know.
But you know what? I will say that you didn't miss out on that much, to be honest. You know, you had your head already on the right track. And most of us, we do all these other things because we're trying to find who we are. I took a gap year because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, you had your goals and you knew what you wanted to do. So we kind of derail ourselves, and sometimes you get derailed for forever and you don't ever come back. So what you did right there and having that right mind, I think is phenomenal. And that's what everybody wants. I mean, that's what all the parents wish for their kids. It's like, get your life in order.
Yeah. No. And I mean, like I said, I'm constantly at battle with myself about that, because it's like, I've recognized that I was very fortunate to know what I wanted to do from the beginning, and that I never, doubted that. And I mean, still to this day, I'm still, doing exactly what I want to do, even if it is in a bit of a different shape or form. But, you always want what you can't or didn't have.
Yes.
And I think about those days and like maybe how I should have let loose a little bit more, how I should have just enjoyed being 18 or 19 or 20.
What? Let's go for a little hoorah and just get it out of the system. I think the hangover will make you not
It might humble me a little bit. I think it hits different at this age.
Yeah, it does. But I think, you must always keep your youth and always do things that, you want. You don't want to die wanting to have done something. So rather do it and enjoy it and get it out of your system. So we should definitely go out, party with the young kids and see how it can be.
Maybe. I mean, I'll get back to you on that. I mean, so I guess now, I mean, you are like killing it on TikTok. You are a very well-established like personality in South Africa. You've won awards like the SA Style Awards. Like I was there, I got to watch. And
you were my date.
And you're obviously like on the right path to, or at least continuing to be on the right path to success, and some may even say fame. And do you feel like over the last couple of years the fame, in a sense, because I'd say 3 million is fame, in my opinion. I don't know, that means something. That is a lot of numbers.
You're right.
A lot of people. Do you feel like it's changed you in any way for the better or for the worse? Or how do people, even family, like relate to you now? Do you feel like it's a contrast to who you were before? Do you feel like you're seen differently?
I like that you asked that question, Kevin, about fame. Because that's something that everybody fights for, especially in our industry. You know how competitive it is and how people will do anything for fame and power. And I've grown up in a family where we're all humble, and one of the things that also grounds me is my spirituality, my belief in Christ. And he's definitely tamed me, because you can get swallowed in all the noise. You can get swallowed in with all the hype that people give you. You can lose yourself when you see the monies coming in, when you see the brand deals, when you're seeing the events that we go to. I mean,
of course. I mean,
the rooms that we get into, you can lose yourself. And the other day, my mom actually brought her friend over. And her friend was like, then my mom then started showing her a little bit of my videos. This woman was like, I did not know that you are this big. She's like, because you welcomed me from the first day with such a great smile and humility, and you never ever spoke about what you do and all of that. You literally just told me who you are as a person, not what you do for work and how people perceive you. So I think all of it is just being down to earth, and humility will take you very far.
100.
Respecting other people, learning from people that have paved the way before me, and seeing all the successful people, like what made them successful, what distinguishes them. It's the humility. People who have been braggart and been obnoxious, they've ended up where? You ask yourself, where are they? So I never wanted to be a statistic. So there are some amazing people that I go through this industry with, and I learn from them, and they ground me. They teach me. They are my mentors. And also my mom, she's not in the industry, but she is my biggest mentor. She is my business partner, so I can say she's in the industry. But my family perceives me the same. I don't ever let them feel as if there is any levels or anything like that, or the only thing that has changed is just my career path, but not me, the true me inside.
Of course.
So
That's beautiful.
it is. It's very hard to separate and ground yourself, but I've been able to do that, and I think also that having the right people in my circle grounds me, like yourself. That humbles me. Yeah.
Stop. No, I mean, I get you completely. Like, I feel what some people would possibly call a glow down is what I had. I think, and I don't call it a glow down. Like, in my opinion, I glowed up because in the earlier, as I was starting out, like I said, you're so right. Like, we get access to the craziest opportunities, the biggest things, like the events that we go to, and brand deals and stuff like that. And like, it's all incredible. And it is really easy to lose yourself and to also, become a little bit self-involved. It's like, well, if this big brand wants me, I must be something, and then you kind of start to think that, and that is healthy to an extent.
It is healthy because you have the talent, you have the skills.
You have the talent, and you're kind of like, you're on your way, and you're like, that's good.
But all of that, if you keep on piling it on, that builds that big head.
Yeah.
It gets heavy up there.
And so, like, I remember just going to event after event after event, like multiple times a week. And you know what? Like, at the time, I loved it, and I'll never judge myself for who I was at the time because that's what I wanted.
Yes.
But once again, like, bringing it back to COVID 2020, like, I obviously went like over a year without really doing too much. And I was like, okay, wow, what am I doing here? I only am who I am because I am doing all these social things, and which I love, like I did love. And I still do to an extent.
Yes.
But I'm like, and that's when I also like roughly started creating content, and I was like, okay, I can actually be a little bit more creative. I can see like a payoff for the work that I'm doing. Like, I do a video which I really love, and maybe it goes viral, maybe it doesn't, but like, I can get a few comments saying, hey, like, this was really cool, this was really helpful.
Yes.
And that meant so much more to me than like, trying to serve a look and praying that people like loved my outfit at this event, which is amazing, and no disrespect to like anybody who held those in the past, but like, the next day, once it's over, But I like that you touched base on that, on just going to these events. I think if you think about it, why I go to the events, or most of us creators and influencers go to these events, it's for the networking purposes. It's for getting in touch with the brands and the managers, and it's not only about just showcasing what you're wearing. So it is for a bigger purpose, but you mustn't lose yourself in just going to events, because most of them, a lot of people don't know that most of these events are not even paid. You're just going for networking purposes, and it does get exhausting because you must think of outfits, you must think of hair, transportation. There's a lot of logistics that go behind this. And you're right.
And people from outside look at us and they just yearn and get jealous and crave what all these events we're going to, but they don't know that the resources we have to now take out from our pockets and spend to build the brands, to build us, to network, to get ourselves in those rooms. So, and a lot of people, unfortunately, aren't able to get into those rooms, which is why it gets toxic, because they can do absolutely anything. And people will fight for it, you know what I mean? Or I was about to say kill, but I don't know if we're allowed to say that on here. But they will do anything just to get that ticket for that event. I've seen the desperation. And then that's when I saw the extent of hunger that people in our industry have for power, for fame, for money, for identity. I think one of the most important thing that you must have as a person is your identity. And my identity has never been in the number of followers that I have. Which is where it should be, Because how it's seasonal, and sometimes you can get discouraged when the followers are going down, or when the views are going down and all of that. But once you know that my identity does not lie in my followers, it lays in who I am, that creative being, that person that is innovative, that is what's going to make you stand out and make you consistent. So that's I guess our industry.
I mean, wrapped up. And once again, like there's so many amazing sides to it as well. But I mean, I suppose it's like any job. There's so many amazing sides, but there's also like quite a few,
Just like any business, any industry.
Yeah. And I mean, and I see that now a lot more, that I've grown up a little bit more, like I'm, somewhat well established a little bit more as well. And now I realize that, it's not about what you wear or like the places that you go. And I'm like, yes, you can network and that can help out to an extent, but it's like, rather, lead by your talent and by your persona than by who you're surrounded with and where you go. You know what I mean?
It's how people remember you, you know, how you made them feel, how you are as a person. And like you are multifaceted and you do great things. Like you're a son, you're a partner, you balance work, content creation, and you have your own specific niche. I mean, we all know if you want deals, places that nobody knows, you are the person that we go to. So that is, would you say it's a talent, a skill? What is it? Whatever it is, it's something
Maybe
that
being
you
cheap.
do so well. Other people can go out. I can go and say, guys, I found the store here. But you, the way you even talk, I think that's what you need in this lifetime. Being authentic, and that's who you are. You don't ever try to be somebody else. You never try and copy somebody else. You do everything on your own and your way, and it's brilliant. I watch that and I'm like, consistency and growth that we're seeing.
Well, yeah, I know. And I could say the same for you as well. And I guess that's where I'm trying to circle back a little bit to like some of the, and I don't know if I can call them characters because they seem surreal to me now.
So real.
And I think to all the Dreamberries as well, they seem surreal to the point. Like, I remember one time you telling me you made a slight change to a character and they were like, no, let's go back. Let's take it back.
Yes.
And you were generally conflicted over it. So I guess tell me a little bit more about Mama Halle, Little Halle, and then is it Samantha?
And Samantha.
Samantha's my fave.
The British babe, the one who just says whatever she wants, that bougie girl. These characters literally are, for me, alive.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
I call them as like beings. I say Mama Halle, and then today I'll be like, who am I channeling? I think Mama Halle is like my alter ego. I'll be like, today I'm going to be Mama Halle. Anyone who gets in my way, I will show them, And then there's some days where I need a little bit of humbling, and I'll just be like, today I'll just be little Halle. I'll just be a little chilled,
Wait, before we move on with that, is the Little Halle voice a sound effect or is it your real voice?
It's my real voice.
Oh,
yeah.
my word.
I just discovered this voice thing by trial and error. So she was like a normal girl, a teenage girl. But then I was like, how can we make it a significant difference so that she's alive, So we did the whole face, and then I was like, this face is like cartoon caricature, so we have to definitely put a voice to it. And I was just like finding these voices like, now I can do the voice like this. Mom, I'm the star of the family. Look at me on Kevin's podcast. And then Mama Halle will be like, hey, when are you at a show off? Kita, you must just sit down and just stop trying to take the spotlight from the family. Things like that. And that's literally how I get in and out of character.
That is incredible.
And it is a lot of work, Kevin, because in between you have to put characters. In between I have to get into the characters. There's some days I'm like, I can't play Little Halle. Maybe let's say I'm not that happy today. And then I'm like, the happiness is not going to come out. But if I'm angry, Mama Halle will come out. I'll be like, let's bring light up. And then the skit will come and I will show the craziness. And thank God one of those videos will go viral because of the craziness. But that's what they like. And through being authentic and showcasing Mama Halle, I would get so many comments from all over the world, from all our other Dreamberries. And they would be like, Asian, Indian, whatever nationality, they will be like, are all our parents the same? I'm like, I think they've all went to the same academy or something, like, That's
Isn't that incredible though? like something, I mean, even like a skit that you may have experienced in the past, like as a real Little Halle, you know what I mean? Like is a universal experience.
It is. And I just dramatize it through the skits.
Yeah.
And obviously because Mama Halle is so exaggerated, all my characters are exaggerated. So she will then do it 10 times more. You know, even when your mom would say no, Mama Hali would just say no and beat you up and head wrestle you or something like that, just to give it that extra effect. But yeah, some kids would just comment something like, "Oh my gosh, my mom does that all the time." I'm like, "Does she beat you?" Because I'm just exaggerating here. I don't know what's going on.
Like, here's the number to Childline just
Social
in case.
Security. I'm like, yo. Yeah, but it's just such a beautiful community because, again, the engagement, the way they talk to me. Sometimes they will mention some comments about what their parents do. Then I will just make it into a skit. And it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
and
beautiful.
once again, like absolutely incredible that it's something that everybody can relate to.
Yes,
and
yes.
I love that. Like,
White, black, Indian, our parents are the same. Literally went to the same mom academy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And I mean, touching on that as well, like I think you've got such a great persona, you know, like we mentioned earlier, like really down to earth, despite maybe having 4 people inside your head at once and constantly planning new skits and like, you know, doing this as a full-time job and all of that. But I see, and you know, you love giving back as well, and you love to touch on charity work and get involved in your community as well. And I mean, what drives the importance behind that? I mean, I think we see so many, you know, people of high profile these days, like, you know, only dabbling in charity if it's paid for them, or you know,
and
but you're out there,
related.
like you are, you know, you're out there with people who need it the most. Like there's no like cameras, there's no security, there's no like, you know, which for me, like mad respect, you know.
Thank you. So I love that you mentioned that. I started my organization with my mom back in the day before even the fame and the stardom came out, when I was just the regular me. And at the time, it wasn't an NGO or anything like that, but we would just take money from our pockets and just, you know, sponsor different kids in the communities, Deep Sloot, Soweto, wherever we could contribute, because there's just so much need in this country. And I used to consider myself an empath, but something that I'm trying to not live by. So people's pain, I like feel it. And, you know.
And you really feel like, okay, I have to be there. I have to, you know, help. I have to like do what I can, you know.
So every time we would, seasonal changes, you would just clean out your wardrobe, pack up your clothes, and then go give them to the needy. And my mom always instilled in me, never give somebody something that you will never wear. And most of the time, there's like, I'm sure you've seen me, I chill in my black leggings and this and this. So there's a lot of clothes that I don't wear. So when it's that seasonal change, my mom is like, you have not even worn this for like 2 years now. So
you're like, don't call me out here. You know? There could be one day.
So I will have to get that out, and then we would go donate it. So now we just made it a registered organization, which is called Triumph and Halle Organization Charity.
Incredible.
And we give back. It's still NGO. We don't get sponsorships. We do everything on our own. And if anybody can help, they can always contact me, and let's just find logistics and where you want to help and things like that. But when you go to places like the townships, the Deep Sloot, the Sowetos, Alex, you see the pain, you see the hunger. And I'm like, I'm no Mother Teresa, but people need help, you know, people need help. And it is hard for the living conditions that we're seeing them in. And I just wish our governments could help, but because they're obviously not helping, I think everybody can take a little bit of their part in giving back to the community. Yeah, it doesn't have to be big. These people are not wanting loads of money, but even if you have old pair of shoes, some people walk barefoot, you know. Some people have only that one shoe and they wear it to everywhere, and some people don't even have sanitary pads, you know. Some girls. So wherever you can help, it's like just give back.
No, I mean, and that's the thing, I agree with that 100%. Like I think so often, you know, even somebody who's like middle class, like they're driving a car to work every day and they're like, oh, this car, like, I wish I had a 4x4. Like, I wish I had, you know, a model with like CarPlay in it or like a touch screen or whatever. Meanwhile, like your car's getting you where you need to go. Remember, there's somebody who goes on a bicycle every day, or like there's somebody who has to walk, or, you know,
doesn't have those resources that you're taking for granted. That's where I say, like, we need to really be thankful for what we have
Yeah.
because other people don't have. And I've seen that being ungrateful, and not actively being ungrateful, but not being aware of what I have and taking it for granted, I would lose that thing.
Yeah.
You know, you would lose it. It's
Yeah.
like your car then now when you want a A4, Audi A4, whatever, you would lose this current car because you're ungrateful. And it's like almost like life is humbling you and saying, please, can you appreciate the little that you have? Then you can get more. You can't not appreciate a little room that you are living in, your basement, and now you want a mansion. You have to appreciate this basement, and then maybe you will get your mansion.
Yeah.
You know, if you cannot take care of your space, like your body, if you can't take care of your body, then you can't. You know, what are you going to get? You're going to get health implications on all that kind of stuff. So that's what I always think about. Because even with me, with my health, my body, I would not appreciate it all the time. And I would get bigger and get bigger and get bigger. So then I was, you know, because exactly. And that was the simple thing for me to realize that. And I was like, oh, so if I don't appreciate, that was my life lesson. It was hard, but I got to snap out of it, you know.
Yeah.
So...
And I think it's truly like one thing, you know, if you realize it when you're a little bit younger, you're lucky. But like, as you start getting a little bit older, like maybe after 25, whatever, like you begin to realize, not just in your body, but like life in general, like the more you invest in like that thing, whether it is your body or whether it's your career or whether it's your relationships, like the more you invest in it, like the more return you'll get.
That
like
is
it's
true.
exactly like money in a sense.
That is true.
Most of the time.
Yes.
But
yes,
and that's the
right.
thing. Like you know, you don't want to, I don't want to say you always have to give to get, but like, you know, sometimes it is like that. If you want a healthy body that's going to take you far, like you've got to invest in it with like, you know, self-care and food that's healthy, and like, you know, try and do some jogging or walking or whatever.
It's hard, you know, getting that thing that you want is so much, it's hard. And the easy way is always obviously easy. I remember when you were mentioning how when you put time into something, you'll reap something. It's like my career. When I started, I would make so many videos a day because I had no other way out.
I remember you telling me this.
I had no other way out. That was my only thing. And I was like to myself, because I have no other option, this has to work.
Yeah.
And if it has to work, I have to put all my time, all my hours, all my efforts in making this happen because there was no other way out.
Yeah.
And with that time, with that consistency, it happened. Look where we are now. So to anybody out there, you can, I mean, in this saturated space that we're in this industry that we're all trying to be in, as content creators, as influencers, we know how competitive it is, but we're not all going to make it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but the only thing that is going to distinguish each individual is their consistency in the work that they're putting into their crafts. That is what's going to distinguish all of us. So that's why we say there's so much room for all of us. There's so much space for all of us because of the consistency and the perseverance that you ultimately will have. That is what's 100%. Going to carry you through. So people wondering, how are you a full-time content creator? I'm like, my consistency. Even times where I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, it's my job. I don't have any other thing to do.
I mean, you know, if you were doing a 9-to-5, for example, like you can't just tap out half
even
the day.
When you don't want to wake up that day and go to work, you have to go to work.
You have to go to work.
And
like,
just like this, what we're doing.
And that's what I think a lot of people have misconceptions about in this field. Like, yes, we're very lucky to do it, 100%. Like, you know, there's a lot worse out there that you could do. Like, that could be, you know, less inspiring. Yes. But at the same time, like, I get a lot of DMs, and I'm sure you do as well. Like, how do I make it on TikTok? Or like, how do I become a content creator? Right. Like, how do I get brands to like notice me? You know, and it's like, it is like, I can't just tell you that
you must make 10 videos a day.
Yeah, make 10 videos a day. It's like, I feel like now, after 7 years of doing this, I can only feel like I'm somewhat recognized as somebody who's like doing this okay. You know what I mean? And I feel the same about my corporate career. Like, you know, after 7 or 8 years of doing that, I feel like now I'm in a position where it's like, okay, I'm starting to mature in this role, and I feel like I'm quite good at what I do now. Hopefully, I mean, if any from work is watching,
they're seeing something.
My boss is watching. You know, hi.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm somewhat good at what I do. And like that only, some things you can only learn from the years that you've been
Yes.
doing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, by
And that,
experience.
yeah. And you can't teach experience. Like experience is what you have to go out and get, you know?
I like that you mentioned that as well, because I remember when I started in this industry and there were like a group of people that I wanted to just be part of,
Yeah.
in the early stages, because I did not know anything
Yeah.
about this TikTok platform. You may say, but you were in America, Holly. How did
Yeah.
you not know it started there?
Yeah.
I did not know of TikTok. I only knew of Instagram and Facebook. So when I came to South Africa, I now want to just mingle with the group of girls, and there was just one girl that just made herself like a stumbling block in my life, and I was just like, for what reason?
Yeah.
And she just almost like took everybody out, separated them away from me. Like she cannot be part of this group. She cannot be part of us. And now, years later, I just want to go to her, give her a hug and say, thank you so much for doing that to me. As much as it felt like rejection at the time, because I was almost like wanting you to be my crutch or be your crutch, and wanting that help, you didn't give me that help. You helped me to find my skills, find and experience things for myself. Things like editing a video. I now had to go to my resources like YouTube, help myself. Things that I wouldn't have. I would have just asked her if she was my friend and just like, oh, how do I edit? How do you edit? Things like that. But now I had to then learn for myself, learn how to send proposals to brands and work with people like that. And she helped me also redirect my whole thought process, because I was also very naive, trusting and thinking that everybody's nice to you, everybody will be great to you, but helped me to really see how naive I was. And she helped me be the person that I am today, and also helped me form friendships like with you and other people that I won't mention their names, because it's so many people that I've now created. But all, like you said, you have to build your own experiences. Not everybody's going to tell you, go on YouTube, go on this, download this app, do this. I mean, now we have the resources. It's 2024. Like, get your thought process in order. Nobody's coming to save you. Like, people 100%. Are actually going to gatekeep, as much as they're saying they're not going to gatekeep. Thank God that there are other platforms that people are there to help you with certain tutorials. It's your job to do that. Don't be asking people how to send out a proposal. There are so many templates out there.
Hey, listen,
get 100%. It together.
Like, I agree with you 100%. And it's like, and I think, having a mentor is so valuable. And it's honestly one of the best things that anybody or any person can have, regardless of what they want to do, even if it's just like spiritually, if it's like for your career, if it's for like anything else, like having somebody who can like guide you but not give you everything is really important.
Like, I never understood that when I got into this industry. And I remember even when I wanted to register our NGO, I was asking this other girl that I had known for over 13 years, and she had her business. So I was like, babe, how do I register my business? Again, naive me. And then she was like, babe, I have my services, and my services are 5,000 Rand. And that was 4 years ago. She was like, my services are 5,000 Rand. For me to tell you to go to the internet and go here, you must pay 5,000 Rand. Come through.
I
was
already.
Like, yo, I felt like, you're my friend. How are you not helping me? It's not her responsibility to baby me. That's when I then went on Google. How do I register my business? It showed me. I was like, bada bing, bada boom. Something that I would have now
Google
paid for.
Is a friend to all of us.
It is a friend.
No, I mean, I agree with you there. Like, I feel the same way. One thing that I've started doing, that I have been doing for a while now, and I think we've spoken about this quite a lot, is like, I have always been really passionate about like video work and like videography and all of that. And I haven't had as much time as I wanted to invest in it.
You're so phenomenal at it, Kevin.
I don't think that much, but I'm definitely not gonna like say I'm an official like photographer or videographer. You know what I mean? But it's something that I aspire to learn more about. I don't think I'd ever want to do it as a career, just because I don't know if I'm like 100% that passionate about it. Okay. But I know that I want to do it as a hobby or like just to help people out. And I mean, that's what I've been doing like this year specifically and the end of last year. Like, I've been like, whoever wants like a promo video for their small business, or like a creator or whatever who's trying to like level up a little bit. Like, I love offering those services like free, because it's like, number one, I'm getting the experience that I need because we're experiencing things. We need experience.
We do.
So I can also like take that and learn from it and say, this is what I can do better the next time.
Yes.
There's no risk there because it's like, number one, nobody's paying me. And I get to learn more and more and more until one day, hey, maybe I can have this as a side hustle. That would be amazing.
It's going to be hectic after this podcast now. People are going to be hitting you up everywhere. Can you help
Submissions
me?
are currently closed, but I mean, except for you.
Thank you.
But, you know, so that's the thing. Like I want to learn it at my pace, and I want to, you know, I want to start doing these things like where
Yes.
even if it is the weirdest way possible, like I can give back with like a video
That's
to
beautiful.
a small business who really needs it, or, you know, an individual who's offering a service, or, you know, whatever. So I think like, you know, I have no mentor around that or anything. And it's like, it's kind of just me against the world. But like what you've said is really true. And by saying like, you know, if you really want this bad enough, like you'll find a way to get the information you need.
Yes.
And you know, once again, Google is your best friend. Like if you want to be a content creator, like there are so many templates on like how to reach out to brands. There's so many, I mean, there's probably too many videos on like how to grow and, you know, what's new right now. But at the end of the day, it's still taking you back to who you are as a person, how you come across to people, and what you have to offer. You know what I mean? That will either take you somewhere or may not.
It is about what you offer. Sometimes you think you're being used by people. You think, oh, they just want to ledge on me. But if you don't have anything to offer, why would anybody want to hang out with you? You know, everybody wants you because you have value, because you have influence, because you have skills that they can learn, you know. So you have to have something that you're offering back. And like you're trying to build more things onto your belt, and so that you can essentially, when a brand comes to you, say, I have experience with this, I have this, I have this, I have this. So what's going to make you stand out amongst all the people is what you are doing, gaining experience and gaining all those skills. So even with myself, like I like how you said you've been doing your video classes and lessons and taking it all up. I've also been doing my art classes.
Yes.
You know I love art. So
and I mean, you do it so well.
Over
like,
the
it's
December
incredible.
period, I was struggling with Denzel Washington. I was doing a portrait and I was so frustrated. It just did not look like him, but I didn't know where the mistake was. So it's a skill and it's a talent that I've had since, you know, I was a baby, you know, drawing it is and painting. So now I'm like, my mom has been saying, dude, just go on the internet and try and figure out how to paint, how to get some of the details right. Now I'm like, okay, I haven't done that. I might as well just go to the class and then actually learn, you know, personally with a teacher and everything like that. So we all have room for improvement.
Yeah.
We all need to better ourselves. And we all have hidden talents and skills. If you have not discovered it, like there is somewhere there. You know, your skill and talent is not just being a corporate babe. There is something that you are able to offer. There's something that is in you that is going to make you money. Like essentially, your skills and your talents are what makes you money.
And 100%. And I think, you know, until you get to that point, like I always like to say, like, practice is free. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whether you are trying to become an artist or a singer or whatever, you know, that relatively most of the time, practice is free. Like you can use that time.
There are vocal coaches, like you're saying, for singing, vocal coaches on YouTube. Yeah. I'm sure there's someone that can say, you know, teach you all that on YouTube. Yeah. Like you're saying, it's free. Yeah.
And that's as much as the internet has taken over and made life completely crazy. Like there are some beautiful parts of it like that. You know what I mean? Where, you know, almost everybody has access to that information.
Yes, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I just wish, you know, our people in the townships could help them somehow with resources. Yeah. But like again.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like I mean, I look at, you know, kids now and how they are in school, and like every kid, you know, nobody has books anymore. Like they've got an iPad or whatever. And I mean, it's not that long ago I was out of school. Like I'm not that old, I promise. Like despite like what the 4K shows on my face.
No,
like,
we're not old.
And it's crazy how time has flown by, like, and they started using these resources. But it's like, that's where I really wish we invested a lot more time and money into is like, you know, that type of technology and advancement for, you know, underprivileged kids and kids in the township and kids who, you know, don't have that kind of stuff to do their homework. And, you know, you never know who someone is going to become, you know, with the kind of resources we have today.
Sad. Yeah. And that now that you mentioned that, you think about kids in Asia. Now here in South Africa, they're learning how to do doodles. In Asia, at the age of 4, they're already learning how to to program a whole computer. So again, like you're saying, if a child has those resources, it can really, really take them places. And that's why most of the surgeons and doctors and, you know, engineers are all from those countries from Asia. Because of the resources that they have.
It definitely is the case. And I think of like it's nature versus nurture kind of thing, you know, like if we had the tools to nurture, you know, the younger generation right now, like the upliftment would just be crazy.
But which is why I said, like, in each community, you can always give back a little bit, because if you're helping that one child in that community, whether it's through education, whether it's through mentorship, they are able to then pass on that information to their friends in that community. So it's free, that a resource or something that you just offered to them, and now they are able to then pass it on. And it's a whole cycle. So that's why it's like when you have a charity organization like us, we try and mentor these girls and mentor these boys often enough so that it gets passed on through the generation. Whether it's how to change a pad, whether it's how to treat a woman when you're teaching the little boys, how to treat the grown-ups, and how to deal with, you know, helping them to not steal. Like if you don't have something, ask. If you cannot get, like, there's no stealing. Those kinds of little things that they may not probably be told. Tell them, and then that helps.
Bug on my face. No, 100%. Like, I guess, you know, aside from all of that, like, I'd like to believe as well, like, the future is really bright. And I think especially for you at this point in time, you know, I think you've also recently had like a lot of great things happen. You've like finished school now and all of that. You've like done what you needed to do. So what is the, you know, and this is very much like the most typical question anybody could ever ask, but like, what is your future looking like right now? Like, what are you aiming for? I'm not going to say in 2024 because the world goes past that, but like, you know, now that you've made it, what do you do after you've made it?
Kevin, I mean, I didn't even know where I was going to be last year. I didn't even know the things that I was going to achieve yesterday. You know, I'm like, the future's so bright, I can't even see further. You know, it's that bright. And I never try and enclose myself and not anymore, you know, set all these other goals and things for me to frustrate me, because that would tend to happen. You know, I'm like, I need to reach this at this age and I need to be here at this age. I stopped doing that. And now I just live day to day. Yes, I have things that I want to achieve in a certain time, right? But I don't really set my mind only to that. Now I just work to be the best version of myself. I work to be a better person, a better daughter, a better friend, a good person in my community. All I'm living for is to just develop skills, and because I believe that each person is just like, our brains are a whole computer, and I feel like we're not even tapping into that 1% of what your brain can do, you know. So I'm always just trying to figure things about myself, and each day it's like wow, this is who I am, this is what I can do. So all I know is that, you know, I am destined for greatness, and we're going to see amazing things, but way future goals. And I sanctify my goals in the name of Jesus. No one can stop them. I will definitely be like a producer or a director.
I see that for you, though.
For sure.
Please have me in an extra.
Of course, extra. You'll be the main character.
Even if I'm in the background, like in the coffee shop, I'm like, that's fine.
You'll be there, Kevin. Of course. I always
get my little royalty check per month. I'm fine.
I love it. They will know you're a permanent. You'll be on the permanent. You know.
I'm permanent. Yeah. That's good.
So I do love TV, and I believe I love this industry as well. And we'll just see what happens. And I hope through that production and whatever I'll be doing in the future, I'll be able to help upcoming people as well.
Of course.
Help, because there's so much talent.
Yeah.
But I feel like in South Africa, there's a lot of gatekeeping. A lot of people are being recycled. And that annoys me, because I'm like, are you not seeing the upcoming talents, the youth, the young people? Why are you not giving them a chance?
Well,
you know,
this is it. I mean, that's even like TikTok, for example.
It
we can
is.
see how many talented people are on there. And I'm like, and I swear I saw somebody say something about this the other day as well. But it's like, why are we recycling the same people? And I mean, props to them. They are good. They've obviously made it there for a reason. But it's like, as life goes on,
let's rotate.
Let's give people chances.
Seasons. I mean, it can't be now 20 years and you're doing the same show, 20 years and you're still rotating. It's like,
unless you're Oprah, like
but there's also generations that are coming. Give them a tool. And I feel like that's what they do in America very well. They're able to give people space, and they're opening doors for them. And I like that Cardi B mentioned, why are celebrities in South Africa literally tapping into every space? Not to say that you must just sit back and not tap into those spaces, but she was trying to say, why am I not seeing new faces and people opening doors for those young people, those young talents? Just like she had an opportunity, somebody gave her an opportunity. Why are people not giving South Africans that room?
It's real of Miss Cardi.
If Miss Cardi speaks sense
Miss Cardi if Cardi speaks sense, then
then you know that we need to get it together.
No, I agree with you completely. Like, I think it doesn't matter what field a person could be in. Like I said, it could be music, could be fashion design, it could be like anything. There's so much talent, and it's just like I truly believe that there's so many people that deserve a spotlight. And that's like part of why, even if it's in the tiniest way possible, like hopefully like I can feature them on here, or like,
that's beautiful. Kevin.
Just give them a minute, you know what I mean? Or 60, I don't know. That, they can talk about themselves and, hopefully get something out of it. Like, even if it's just like a renewed sense of like faith to say, you know what, I am worth it. Like I am going to make it. And once again, like, if you don't have faith in yourself, like that, you need that to carry you, because nobody else is going to have it,
You're right. I like that, Kevin. And that's such a beautiful thing. And that's why I always say, like, you never hear me say this, but, in my prayers, I'll be like, thank you, God, for Kevin and his heart, because there are so many people out there, but you are just such a genuine human being. And you've also received me with your utmost heart,
No, and you and me as well.
You always just supported me, even the times that I never saw myself or where I'm going. You always encouraged me. You always spoke great things into my life, good affirmations. And those are the friends and the people that we need in our lives. And just like now, you wanting to help people in the community in any little way, that is beautiful. Not everybody's like that, and nobody must ever tarnish that heart, because you're a giver, and people must never take advantage of you, because you're just such a genuine giver. Like, people don't even need to sabotage you to get anything from you. You're already offering your services. You're like, I'm here. It's like, don't take any more.
Sometimes I'm ready to channel my Mama Halle just a little bit. Don't worry.
No, you must. Exactly, because they want to take, and you're like, I'm giving. Don't take any more.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess like one of my biggest things that I'm facing right now, and I've spoken to you about this before, and it makes me feel like a combination of like extreme guilt and like sadness and all of that, is like time right now is more valuable to me than money at this point. Which, I think it should be for everybody, but like, I'm not going to force that on anybody, or, sometimes money and it is very practical and, needs to be focused on. But like with everything that's going on, like I feel like extremely guilty that I don't get to see friends and family as much as I can, or anything like that. And I mean, even doing this right now for me is big, because it's like I'm carving out like an hour every so often to speak to people I love, something that I'm extremely passionate about. But it's like, I know at the same time, like, the clock is ticking. I've got so many other things to do. And I feel guilty that I don't get to see people as much as I can, or I don't get to interact with people as much as I can. But it's like, I also just hope with good faith that
Yes.
people understand that. And I'm not doing it because I dislike anybody or anything like that. But it's like, I'm very much dead set on like a mission of things that I need to achieve. And it's like, you know, that's what I need to do.
And sometimes it's just how it is.
And sometimes I just need a period of like a certain amount of time to like put my head down and get into it. And then, you know, and hopefully the good friends stay. And the family understands. And like, and you know what I mean?
You know, I like that you said that, because if people really love you and they believe in you and they know that you are this person, like you have time frame and you have targets for yourself, they will appreciate, you know, just you letting them know, like you always let me know, I'm busy, I'm I'm not ignoring you.
And I'm like, I promise I do not hate you.
And
like,
I understand, and I understand that, because I'm also the same. There's sometimes I'm like, for 6 months, for a year or something, like I'm gonna minimize a lot of my going outside and you know, those lunch dates. It will happen in good time. You know, everything has perfect timing. So when you have that momentum to keep going, and when you're sacrificing all those, there is something that you are going for and you're chasing, and you will reap it. You will get it, because you are sacrificing all those. And people who are unable to do that, you will see with their lives and the fruits that they bear as well. So for you, we are here, we support you. And we're always at your corner. I'm not going anywhere. We're stuck for life.
We're stuck together for life.
We are.
One day, like I said, I'm going to be on your Netflix show.
Yes. Yes. I'm so excited.
So I guess with that being said, and speaking on perfect timing, I think we are wrapping up the episode, or the very first episode for today of Haaizit. And
I was enjoying this so much.
And I guess I'm literally going to ask people this question, but it's like, do I even have to ask you? I'm like, can you just tell people where to find you on socials, even though like the whole country's following you already? So
thank you so much again, Kevin, for this day and this time spent. Like, I really enjoyed it. Time flew so quickly, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this podcast. They can find me on Instagram at real Galaletsang and TikTok at HalleBBerry, and yeah, those are the social media that I use predominantly.
Like I said, like everybody's following you already, so it's fine. But
I'm blushing.
But yeah, no. I mean, from my side as well, follow the podcast at Haaizit on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as well. Like, to reserve a username in 2024 is, you know, harder than finding an apartment to live in. But anyways, we found one, we reserved it. And that's where a lot of this content is going to be posted. So I'm really excited for that. And then, you know, here's to all the future amazing guests that we have. But I mean, you never forget your first.
How's it, baby? I'm so happy to be here.
So thank you so much for joining me, my love. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And here's to amazing things in your future.
Thank you so much. Hopefully I've set the right pace, and going forward, may your podcast just be as successful as you are.
Thank you.
And I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Thank you, baby.